Established in April 2021, Upland Development United is the oldest and most exclusive and transparent no development collaborative in the Upland Metaverse. Contact Morecheese at 68 for more information. Warning: this podcast is produced by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and contains unsolicited and heavily biased opinions which are solely the views of the individuals involved. It does not include investment advice of any kind, and you are responsible for undertaking your own financial, including tax liability research relevant to your own individual circumstances.
Metaventure applications are open now. Now, I mentioned what the deal is there within Midtown Terrace and how we're looking to support people that are wanting to get involved. But this is definitely one of those cases where if you're somebody that's been feeling like you've missed the boat as far as Metaventures go, or you're wondering how to get involved, I mean, the world's your oyster now. Get involved. So I'll pull this up here. Metaventure applications are open. Calling all Uplanders, yada, yada, yada. After months of closed beta testing with a small group of players, Metaventures for Block Explorer shops and NFLPA fan shops are now open and accessible to Upland players around the world. Now, I did have some people ask, well, when's the cutoff for this? But it appears that it's just open-ended.
Now, what I want to know is if people can't make their dues, do they get their Metaventure kind of taken away, or are we going to have a whole bunch of messy shops on the map of people who can't?
Don't quote me on it, but I believe it's 3 strikes and you're out.
And when you're out, they actually take it off the map, right?
Yeah, that will.
Okay.
I believe they'd remove the pin and all of that sort of stuff. Yes, but yeah, don't quote me on it, but I believe that's the case. Yeah. Or it may be the case where if you miss a month, you'll get an email say please explain, and then if you don't follow up, yeah. But there's definitely some avenue in place to address that. That I know for sure. So yeah, it does appear that this is going to be open-ended. And keep in mind that if you are going to open up a Metaventure, the larger the structure, the more inventory you'll be able to have. So I'm looking forward to the first Lily Corp Metaventure in San Francisco. That'll be fun. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of information requirements here. You must be KYC'd, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I do believe it's open-ended. So if you're somebody who's interested in that, definitely check it out. Now, it's interesting that they're throwing it wide open. I wonder how many we're going to get, because essentially this is where we're going to see the venture dues system really start to kick off, because to date we haven't really seen that, because it's been a very small minority part of the community that has been running these Metaventures. The Metaventure fees, I believe, have been very, very small, like in the low thousands or even hundreds of UPEX. So, but that's going to change pretty rapidly if you're somebody who gets involved, and then there's a whole bunch of Block Explorer shops in that same city. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. And remember, those fees are equal across the board for that particular store. So if you're somebody that has a Block Explorer shop and you kind of just half-ass it and don't put any time, effort, or energy into it, and you're up against somebody who might be putting heaps of time and effort and energy in and making crap loads of sales, well, you're essentially going to have to pay your tax based on how successful they are. So it's one of those things to be mindful of. And interestingly enough, I did get, well, again, I won't put the person on blast, but I did get an email, a DM through the week saying, I'd like to apply for a Metaventure. Essentially, I'd like to apply for a Metaventure shop and then you help me run it. I'm like, no. I might be able to list some stuff, but yeah, not if you're opening a Metaventure, you have to be responsible. I think the days where, yeah, you palm that off to somebody else, because it's now wide open, I think those days they're past. It has to be something you yourself are willing to put some time into.
Yeah.
And who knows, if you open a Metaventure store and you don't pay the dues and you lose your store, I would assume that would put you on some kind of blacklist is probably too strong. But if another different type of Metaventure comes up and you reapply for that, I would imagine, I would imagine they're going to keep track of that at some stage. And if there's 50 other people that haven't already run one and failed at it, again, pure speculation, but I'm always wary of those things. And kind of associated with that too, we did see that Upland put the call out for the Upland Designers Guild. Now, it's not technically a metaventure, but it is an opportunity for you to get involved in a kind of metaventure. It's almost like a subcontractor for artists. And so, yeah, get on in and check that out there. So it is good to see that, we're all spruiking that Upland is a community-based metaverse, and that's its core strength. It's good to see that things are getting put into place for that to become more of a reality. I don't know. Anybody mad keen? Anybody else mad keen to run a metaventure? No. Happy MFR, you said you applied for both?
Oh, you're muted, just FYI. You gotta unmute yourself. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Oh, you're jumping on the trampoline. What are you doing? And D-Tech said
I'm
he
waiting
applied
on Metaventures.
You are, yeah. You're
I'm
holding
waiting
off.
for transportation or garage-based Metaventures.
Yep, interesting. Happy?
Yeah, I applied for both. I finally got the unmuted button come up. I'm laying down too, so that's why I kind of look probably
Nice.
kind of funny.
Yeah, the world is your pillow, man.
Now, was
Yeah,
this...
oh, sorry. Go ahead there, Bill.
No, you go ahead, mate. I always cut in like that.
All right. Yeah, I figured I'd apply for both. I have, quite a few BEs and I have quite a few legits, and I kind of figure, it's nice that I myself can actually sell them, and I don't have to depend on anybody else. And it'll be a little more up to me to do the advertising and, to be in competition with the shops, and gives me something else to do in the game as well, because treasure hunting, buying, selling properties. it's all fun, but let's be honest, treasure hunting after a while, it can make you insane. You just keep getting those little chests. And
Yep.
Maybe, every 30 you're getting a spark chest. And then, the market's kind of crazy when it comes to buying and selling properties. So, having another avenue, to be able to make some UPX is kind of always interesting to me.
Now,
Plus oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, is this something where you got that announcement and you were like, oh shit, and then you started putting stuff together? Or is this something that you've been working on for a while and been waiting for this opportunity?
Well, I've been waiting for this for a while. I applied for the last couple of them and I didn't get them. I even loaned another player like 15 of my BEs, and he was able to open a Block Explorer shop. And so I'm going to have to get all of those back here once I get my own shop up and running. But I was able to sell a few out of his shop, and unfortunately I know he's really busy in real life, so I think it's just been harder for him to kind of stay as active with it. And I was going to try to help him a little, but I never really had access to the shop, so really couldn't do much myself.
Yeah,
So,
that makes it hard.
Yeah, and just I love Upland, man. Like I'll be straight. I quit one of my jobs about 6 months ago. I hated this job that I had, and it was back when you could do swapping, right? And I was making like 400, 500K a day doing the swapping.
Wow.
And I was kind of like, well, I don't really need a job anymore, right? I knew it was going to be short-lived. I knew there was no way that was going to be sustainable. And I do have another job, and I'm not like, destitute or anything like that. But I pretty much, like, as soon as I found this game, I just kind of fell in love, and I've just been obsessed. And it's just been, everything that I can do in it. I kind of just, if I have free time, I'm in Upland. It's kind of my life. If I'm not at work, I'm in Upland. And so whatever they do to expand the game and make it more fun, I'm all for it. And I do think it's fun because I don't know if a lot of people talk about this, but it's a very competitive game. Despite, all the community and the nodes that are out there, I feel like it's really cutthroat in a lot of ways. I mean, look at the floor prices of any city. It's like people are racing each other to the bottom a lot of times. And to be successful in this game, it takes a lot.
Absolutely.
Agree.
Yes. And yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of people like yourself that they're looking for ways to get more deeply engaged. You know, it's one of those things. Like, I've been playing for 2.5 years, and I'm still waiting to get our shop up and running, and that's going to greatly improve things as well. D-Tech has said he applied for the Builders Guild. Coop has applied for Legits. What else did you say here, Coop? Much more interested in decor, but don't have the infrastructure for it. It is going to be much more time consuming than BEs or Legits. Yeah, absolutely, because you're essentially building the inventory. Now, one thing to be aware of that we've kind of been talking about with decor is some people are saying, you know, it's unfair. You guys have a monopoly on this, but keep in mind that just like what happened with Block Explorer shops, I'm fully expecting that once we iron out the bugs for outdoor decor, that's going to be the doors for that are going to be thrown wide open to the public. You know, it'll be in stages where they'll open it up a bit more, and then eventually it'll be thrown wide open. So Cheese and I and D-Tech, and we've all been banging on that. If you're interested in it, start working on it as soon as possible. Don't wait for the announcement, because it's taken Cheese, D-Tech and I literally 3 months, and we're still kind of scrambling. So, and that doesn't include the years worth of background stuff that myself and then Cheese were doing to even get ready. So yeah, if it's something you're interested in, yeah, get your butt moving. Cheezels, anything to add?
Yeah, I just hope they don't. I kind of feel like they did the Block Explorer shops a little dirty, in a sense where, you know, there's no discount to the shop owners to buy stuff at a premium so that they could sell for whatever. And I was like, all right, the fact that they're only opening 5 shops per city would help that, but I think they're going to raise that, right? They're going to put.
Absolutely.
That's yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing happened with Block Explorer shops. Like when people first applied way back for Block Explorer shop, I don't know that it was ever said, but it was definitely kind of, well, those people thought that they were going to have the ability to build their own custom 3D Block Explorers. That's definitely the case. And
I don't think they thought that. I think that they were going to get first dibs at sales that Upland put out and at like a premium.
Well, I think it was both, because I know of at
Really?
least 2 of the OG Block Explorer shops that were quite disappointed and that have essentially not given up on their but they definitely lost a lot of interest when they found out that essentially they're just middlemen.
Yeah.
Middle people. Yes. So yeah, that's a bit of a worry. And just to touch on outdoor decor as well, like the release of that is imminent. We have our inventory all submitted. Everything's submitted, but not everything's approved. That's held up on Upland's end. Between Cheese, D-Tech, and myself, we have worked out like the mint numbers that we want to use. But as far as pricing goes, we still have no idea whatsoever. Like for UpX pricing, we got no idea. We've only just received an idea of what the spark cost to manufacture these items is going to be. So we can kind of spitball some prices around that. Yeah, spark hours, Joe. So we have been given a little bit of an indication about that, but as for what the actual release prices are, we still got no idea, and that's a whole bunch of conversations and stuff that's yet to play out as well. So yes, so there is a little nugget that I might be able to share, but I don't know if I'm at liberty to share as far as spark pricing goes. But I don't know.
No.
Maybe I'll bite my tongue. Thank you. Needless to say, it did have us scratching our heads for a while. Scan that QR code or click that link in the description and dive yourself headfirst into the Samurai Aquatics Discord server to pleasure your peepers on our current and future range of outdoor decor.